You are invited to a murder. A stranger lies dead in Arlington Grange. There are 6 suspects, but which one is the killer? Could it be Mrs. Peacock, lady of the manor and beautiful society hostess? Perhaps Colonel Mustard, military hero and intimate family friend? Is Reverend Green a saint or sinner? Is it Professor Plum, a man with a degree of suspicion? Miss Scarlet, Mrs. Peacock's glamorous stepdaughter? Or Mrs. White, loyal housekeeper and devoted confidant?
Yes, I killed him. He came here so full of conceit, not looking for the truth. He would lie, cheat, and threaten for a lurid headline. He would destroy honorable lives for the sake of one moment's titillation for his readers. He upset us all, and he blackmailed me. It is true that a project I worked on had been used without adequate safeguards, regrettable, but Stringer was going to ruin my reputation. So I decided to poison his wine. I knew he'd be back for the bottle. What was it? Oh, a cocktail of insecticides. It seemed somehow appropriate.
Something dreadful's happened.
What's the matter, Mrs. White?
That young man, he's dead. He's been murdered.
I don't know what came over me. I've been part of the community for over 15 years. All my friends are here. My flock. My roots. I've given everything to this parish. And I don't have the strength to go on to new ventures, to start afresh. That's what it would have meant. I just think the prospect was so cruel, so unfair. I didn't go back into the kitchen to do him any harm. I don't know why I picked up the scissors. I just wanted to challenge him. But he laughed at me. There they were in my hands. And all I could see was his bare neck. And I forgot who I was. God help me, I actually forgot who I was.
Study?
No, the kitchen.
I had it too, the kitchen.
Has anybody seen Mrs. White? No.
She's dead.
What?
The medium, Miss Terry. Someone killed her.
Oh, no.
Yes, I killed the obnoxious charlatan. Or was she a charlatan? The vicar and I were working our little pocket money scam with the help of a few hidden tape recorders and some high-tech imagination. Miss Terry threatened to expose us. But in the end, it was her revelations about Vivian and I that signed her own death warrant. I couldn't allow her to upset Elizabeth now, could I? I found the dagger quite by accident. It was just lying there, offering itself to me. And then I found Miss Terry, like the proverbial sacrificial lamb, sitting quietly behind the billiard room door. She was in a deep meditation. She didn't even hear the gunshot. It seemed as though she was in another world. And now, she is. Let's just call it divine intervention. You see, I managed to achieve what the vicar said he'd do. I rid the house of a demon.
It's after 7, Mum. I must serve dinner now. Oh, very well. I suppose we can't really wait.
Did you find them?
No.
You all right, Mandy?
Just found Max cold and, I don't think he'll be wanting any dinner. Why ever not? He's dead. He's been murdered.
Yes, I did it. And I can't say I'm sorry. I feel I performed a public service. Well, someone had to. And as I'd started the whole mess in the first place, I thought it was my job to clear it up. If only I could have stopped the sale. But my solicitor said no, and I had no choice. And I did think the deposit would come in frightfully handy to pay for the maintenance. I mean, you should see the bills. Anyway, when that odious creature came into my study looking for his contracts, I simply imagined his head was a croquet ball that I wanted to send out of bounds, and I let fly. You see, what Arlington Grange stands for is irreplaceable. I could give it up, but I couldn't let that oaf spoil it for future generations. Oh, it's England. Croquet on the lawn, tea in silver teapots, sherry before dinner. One simply has to maintain one's standards.
What's the matter?
I think someone better call the police.
Why? What's happened?
I think you better brace yourself, Viv. Mr. Moxon has been murdered.
I'd had a run of spectacularly bad luck at the tables. I owed Clive more money than I could ever hope to repay without raiding the funds my father had left for me. Only that meant that I had to get married. When I told him, he seemed rather amused. So, let's get married, he said. A marriage of convenience, no strings attached. Only there were, a louse. I mean, it was bad enough that I owed him money, but he was simply the most repulsive human being I have ever met. I realized quite what he wanted from me. Well, that was that. It was when I heard Clive agreed to play snooker with Mike that it just suddenly seemed so simple. Get Mike out of the way, pretend to have a headache, go to bed, then creep down the back stairs where no one would see me. I'd already hidden the sword stick amongst the snooker cues. Clive thought that I'd come to watch. And whilst he lined up a trick shot to impress me with his brilliance, I just... I don't regret it. As far as I'm concerned, I've done the world a favour.
Oh, good afternoon, Mrs. White. Have you seen the reverend?
He rushed out, seemed quite upset.
Thank you. Who made all that mess?
No respect, some people. Wax everywhere.
Yes. Oh, I see somebody's had a go at that crabby old nun. More power to them, I say.
I think we'd better call the police. Sister Concepta. Someone's killed her.
Yes, I did it. I was just trying to help Mrs. Peacock and the house. I started it all with that letter, so I felt I had to stop it. All those emeralds seemed to be the answer. I knew Sister Concepta needed them to build her convent. So I thought, if I got rid of them, maybe she'd go away. I stole them, and I hid them in the drawing room. I thought no one would look in there with a wet floor. But when I went to check that they were safe, she caught me red-handed. She threatened me with that spear thing. Well, I fought back. I couldn't help myself. I tried to cover my tracks as best I could. I forgot about the damn wet wax on the drawing room floor.